Today I have 15 tips for you to help your move to the Philippines go smoothly. Even if you've been here for a couple weeks, a couple months, I think these 15 tips can even help you. So keep watching, here they come. Tip number 1 is choose where you want to be. Now this just isn't a permanent thing. I mean, just a place you can get your feet wet, live in for a couple weeks, couple months to get used to the Philippines. And there's over 7,000 islands here, so they got just about anything you could ask for. If you want a big modern town with all the modern amenities, you want to pick Manila with their Makati and their BGC area, or Cebu City with IT Park. I mean, both of these places have, you know, the nicest of the nice. They rival any city in the West, but with all those modern amenities comes a cost. Now, it may not be as expensive as where you're from when you move here, but it will be the most expensive place in the Philippines to live. So, and then with the big city life comes people. Very crowded in those areas. Even the traffic. The traffic is bad. I mean, you look online and Manila is always voted the worst traffic in the world, so it gets a little hectic there. So if you want something a little simpler, a little quieter, you can move to the province. Now the province is, if you're not in Manila or Cebu City, they say you're in the province, but there's so many nice places. Panglao, you got Davao, you got Iloilo, you got Bacolod, and especially Dumaguete. I mean, you're in Dumaguete, you think it's 50% foreigners there, but it's very nice, very expat friendly, easy to get around, not as many people, just a lot simpler, quieter life. But then if you also want cool, it gets a little hot here. So if you want a little bit cooler weather, you want to pick somewhere like Baguio, which is a few hours north of Manila, or Tagaytay, which is a couple hours south, or even Valencia, which is right up the hill from Dumaguete. They're going to be a little bit cooler than if you're right down on the coast. Now it's not going to be like snowing up there, but it will be cooler than if you're down in the city. Tip number 2 is understand the cost of living. Now I know you watch videos and everybody says how it's so inexpensive to live here. Yeah, it is, a lot less than in the West, but they're not giving things away here. You do have to pay. I see online some guys say they live on 600 US, 800 US a month, and that's getting down there. I mean, that's pretty low. I say 1,500, as a single guy, you're doing pretty good. You can, have a nice place, have a motorbike, travel around, no problem. But once you get up to, say, 2,000, 3,000 a month, no problem. I mean, you're good to go. But, if you want to really check into the town that you're going to move, go to the website Numbeo, numbeo.com. Now, it's a website where they crowdsource information from people that live in these towns, and they put in everything from how much a beer costs, to how much eggs cost, cheese costs, to childcare, to gyms, to utilities, to what rentals are there for a 1-bedroom or a 3-bedroom in the city center or out in the countryside. They just list everything there, and that's a good website to go check out. You can punch in your town, and I mean, they got most cities in the world in there, so you can get a little bit of an idea of what it will cost you in the Philippines. Tip number 3 is don't rush into anything. Don't buy right away. I always say just rent for 6 months, 12 months. That way you can get a feel for how the neighborhood is. Make sure there's no roosters running around, dogs barking all night, your neighbor is not blasting karaoke till 3 in the morning. So always just rent before you buy. And even before you rent, if you're going to rent a house, a condo, apartment, go by there all different times during the day. Go there in the morning, go there in the afternoon, go there in the evening, a few days, just to make sure, you know, it's all good. You could go by there one day and everything's super quiet and you rent it. And then the next day you find out, you know, there's a karaoke bar right next door and they're blasting music all night. So just take it slow, rent a place first, see how it is, and then buy if you like the area. Tip number 4 is get the right visa. Now the easiest one to get is a tourist visa. That happens to be the one I'm on right now. Very easy. You just show up, you know, pay every 2 months your extension at the Bureau of Immigration. Do that all the way up to 36 months. You have to leave the country and you can come back the next day and those 3 years start all over. You just have to go to immigration every 2 months to extend the visa, but that's very easy. There's no money requirements, nothing. You just show up and you're good to go. But they got lots of other visas. They got the 13A, that's the marriage visa, and the SRRV visa, that's like a really good one to have. That's really popular, but the thing is there's like 5, 6 different kinds of SRRV visas, and you know, I can't sit here and explain all of them because they get very complicated with the amount of money you have to put on deposit and if you can use that to buy a house and all kinds of things. So I just suggest you go to the website of the Philippine Retirement Authority, the PRA, and the website is pra.gov.ph. You go there and it lists all, you know, all the visas out, how old you got to be to get this visa and how much you got to put down to get this visa. If you can use the money to buy a house, like I said, it explains it all there, and it gets very intense. So check out that website, pra.gov.ph. Tip number 5, have a health care plan. Now this is just like tip number 4. I mean, it gets very complicated with all the international health care plans that you can have, you know, your private insurance, which I suggest you have private insurance, but all that, and if you're here on certain visas and things like that, you can have Phil Health, which helps take down that cost, cover a lot of costs for you, but just always have your own private insurance. I mean, trust me, just get that before you come here. Just do a search on that, pick out which one's best for you, and just have some kind of insurance when you get here. Tip number 6, use the best money transfer company. Now, there's a lot of those. You got Wise, Remitly, MoneyGram, Western Union. Just have an account set up before you get here so you know everything's working good. I suggest you, before you send money to yourself, go on all the different companies and see which one's offering you the best rate that day and just send it that way. You don't have to be loyal to any one company. See which one's giving you the best rate that day. The general rule here is you can't open a bank account unless you're here 6 months, 6 continuous months, and you have the ACR card. And I suggest you open a bank account here. They got, you know, the major banks are BDO, BPI, PNB. Open an account, get yourself a dollar and a peso account. That's the way to go. So if you transfer money over here from bank to bank, transfer it over in dollars, and then when the exchange rate is good, then you put it over into your peso account. That's a good tip right there. Tip number 7 is prepare all your documents before you come here. I mean, of course you're gonna have your passport, but just bring copies of everything you think you're gonna need. Birth certificate, if you're coming here married, your marriage certificate, proof of your pension, proof of Social Security, and it's always best just to have all those forms notarized, apostillized. Trust me, it makes it a lot easier when you get here. Tip number 8 is prepare for the climate. I mean, we're in a tropical climate, right? It's very hot here. It's hot all the time. I mean, every day. There's no break. So if you rent a house, apartment, make sure it has aircon at least in the bedroom. So that way you can get a good night's sleep. You're gonna have fans in the living room all day long, but just get used to the heat. Bring some of those shirts that are like dry fit shirts, tank tops, because it's gonna get hot. The typhoon season here is June through November. So you know when that usually happens. You know, down here, I'm in the Visayas, so they usually don't come down this way. It's usually northern Philippines, up on Luzon, where the typhoons, I don't want to say always hit, normally hit, but most of them go to the north. So if you're down in the Visayas, you're usually okay, but just prepare. June through November is typhoon season here. Tip number 9 is rethink driving. Now, the main way to get around when you're down in the provinces is motorbike. So if you rode a motorcycle before, you have experience doing that, no problem. But if you haven't rode a motorbike before, I suggest you just use public transportation, which is very easy to get. You know, you walk right outside your place and a tricycle will go by, a jeepney will go by, and these things are very inexpensive. You want to ride like a mile and a jeepney is like 10 peso. You know, you get on a tricycle, it's the same thing. I mean, it's very inexpensive, very easy to get around public transportation wise. But if you are going to drive, you have 90 days to get the Philippine license. So you got 90 days. Then after that, you know, you're on your own with the checkpoints, but you should have a license within 90 days of getting here. Tip number 10 is learn to eat local, okay? Of course, you know, all the food that's grown here is gonna be a lot less expensive than Western style food that they have to ship in. You know, that stuff will be 2, 3, 4 times higher than what it was back home. So learn to eat local. There's so many good things, adobo, sinigang, all the fresh fish you can get here. So just learn how to eat local foods. Tip number 11 is learn to speak the language. Now, which language is that? It's hard to say. I mean, there's over like 150 different dialects spoken in the Philippines. So, you know, from Tagalog to Bisaya, I mean, there's just so many different things. But learn to speak the language where the part of the country you're going to live in. I mean, there's some words that, you know, they're just Filipino words, like salamat is, you know, thank you. Paliog, please. You know, just learn some basic language and that'll help you out a lot. And you know how it is, even if you mess up the language, and it just shows you're trying, and the Filipino people, they really do appreciate the effort in that. So a few words in the language go very far for you. Tip number 12 is join a Facebook group in the town that you're thinking about moving to. Now, there's a lot of good, you know, information you can get from these guys. A lot of them live in that area where you're thinking about moving. You can meet a lot of nice people even before you come here, and they can give you some good insights on how that is in that town. So tip number 12 is join a Facebook group in the town you're thinking about going to. Tip 13 is stay connected. Now, maybe years ago this was it, but now staying connected to the internet, I mean, a lot of islands here have fiber internet. I mean, if you go out in the middle of the, you know, middle of nowhere, yeah, they won't have fiber out there, but you can stay connected pretty well here. And even if they don't have fiber, you can still get Starlink. Starlink is good. That works everywhere. But, you know, internet is really not a problem. So if you're working online or something like that, I mean, you can get by. I mean, there'll be times where it does go out. I won't lie, but generally it's pretty reliable. And then when you get to the airport, get a SIM for your phone right away. So that at least that way you can make calls, you can make texts. The two big companies here are Globe and Smart. There's a couple other ones, Dito, and but the two big ones are Globe and Smart. Just get yourself a SIM card right in the airport so that way you have a cell phone to use when you're first moving around. Tip number 14 is just embrace this lower lifestyle here. I mean, back home in the US, we called it island time. Here, they say Filipino time. I mean, things just work so much slower here. You just got to have patience. I mean, to go through a checkout line, it might take you 20, 30 minutes to go through the line. Everything just moves so much slower. And the one thing you need to pack when you come here is patience. I mean, you need to have patience. I mean, when I first came here, that's the one thing I had to work on is patience, because I wasn't used to the Filipino time, but now after 3 years, it's going pretty good and I'm pretty relaxed and I go with the flow. And last but not least, tip number 15, keep yourself a financial safety net. Keep 6 months, 12 months of money stashed away. You never know when you're going to have an emergency. Hopefully you don't. But if you ever have an emergency, you got that money sitting there to help you out. And even say have 2 different banks, split it up. Have just your financial safety net to help you in any crisis that you might have. I hope one of those 15 tips did help you out here and you're planning on moving here, or if you've been here for a while. So keep watching. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.